Had to dig this one out the archives. You see it though. You see the poster. You know what time it is. The 5th and final season of the best thing Netflix ever said yes to is finally here, and I am so sick to my stomach with anxiety and excitement as the rest of you. July 15th, 2016, Netflix and television changed forever. I love this show so much, man, and now that it's coming to an end, of course, I realize how much it's meant to me this whole time. This show's held me down through the home stretch of my childhood, all the way up to the first half of my 20s. You know, it's become foundational to who I am. Stranger Things, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Smallville, Supernatural, Walking Dead, Grey's Anatomy before they started doing too much. Like, these are the shows I'm gonna put my kids on when the time comes. I'm rewatching seasons, I'm watching all the interviews, I'm reposting all the edits, and I'm trying to embrace this moment as best I can because this really is the last ride through Hawkins. Me personally, I'm here to give the Duffer Brothers and all the cast and crew their credit for making this show as monumental as it's been. Through all the kinks, the circumstances, and the flaws, because no piece of art comes without them. But even then, we've still been left with one of the greatest TV shows of all time. And I'm assuming that the ending is going to be just as peak as everything else was. One of the main themes I saw really prevalent in this season was, after all this time, we're still doing this. And it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Of course, things have for surely changed. The stakes have never been higher. But the fact that there are aspects of this story and these characters that have still remained the same throughout all of this only adds to the human element of the story and makes these characters feel even more real and even more impactful than they already were. Jonathan and Steve still fighting over Nancy's attention in 2025. William still halfway holding on to his Byler fantasy, as if we didn't watch Mike basically give his vows to Elle last season? Joyce and Hopper's still trying to keep our X Factors on a leash when we need them. Like I said, plenty of things have changed, but plenty of things have stayed the same as well, and I like that consistency. We be the first people mad when things are introduced about characters and like made important, and then just immediately dropped. So we can't then get mad when things stay consistent even throughout these extraordinary circumstances. But regardless, let's get to peak. Chapter 1, The Crawl. We start the show off showing our boy Will going through it in the Upside Down. Like, yo, no wonder all he wanted to do when he got back was play D&D. And look how the homies treated him. Like, man, this is wild. Demogorgon snatched him up, and then here go Vecna violating. Like, what? That little tube thing to the throat? Oh, talking about we'll do great things together, William. Boy, hell no. And guess what our military solution is to the pending alien invasion? A giant metal band-aid and a base. Typical. Our boy Dustin grieving Eddie and the Hellfire Club in all the wrong ways. Antagonizing Andy wearing the shirts. Isolating himself from the group. He got Eddie's rings on. Like, oh man, our boy hurting bad. Mike was preaching though. He told our boy, you're fighting 2 battles right now and we need you to be fighting 1. Sullivan weak ass in the forest chasing doppelgangers. While 11 actually in the field training on her quarantine ninja warrior shit? Okay. And she was going crazy. She was trying to make that certain time so Hopper would let her go on the crawl with her, but you know Hopper isn't going for none of that. Clearly 11 wants her ones back with Henry real bad, and I respect that. But Hop wants her on the bench, primed for her moment to shine, and I respect that too. We can't be out here risking our X Factor for something that might be nothing, and it's clearly been nothing, because what do you mean we're 37 dives deep with no sign of Vecna?
What?
37? Soon as we got to 11, I'd have been like, alright. I paid as much attention to Steve and Jonathan competing over Nancy as Nancy did. We move. Shout out Murray keeping the gang supplied and notified. Even in the quarantine, we respect that. Thank you. Apparently, the military's moving some serious cargo into the Upside Down. Therefore, we're crawling. Hop sneaks in the convoy, flips to the Upside Down. Dustin and Steve follow him on the right side up. Keep track of the signal and don't lose him. Simple as that. Our boy Will's case of the Goosies has reached season 2 levels already. As soon as I saw that, I knew our boy was going through it this season. What do you mean Will's getting Demogorgon POVs? I have it in my notes. Chapter 1. The day it came out. Look. Let me find out we're about to get Majin Will Byers. Vecna symbiote Will Byers. I'ma be pissed. This is the notes for episode 1. Stop playing with me. I do this TV shit for real. They got a research base in the Upside Down, I guess. Down there dissecting aliens and shit. Y'all just posted up everywhere, huh? Then you got Dr. K though talking about I need the girl. No the hell you don't. You mean to tell me we're 37 dives deep, no sign of Vecna, and little Holly Wheeler pops up with an imaginary friend talking about he's protecting me from the monsters in Hawkins who like to eat kids.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Mike, lock in. I mean, he halfway did giving her the heroic name, D&D mini thing, but like, come on, bro. Didn't find out it was Henry till next episode. We knew it was Henry. Our girl Max still in that coma, and our boy Luke is still by her side. We love that. Shout out Will for being a W-mans, being their first homie. Then you gonna go spying on Robin and her girl? Sir, this is not your realm. I mean, it is. but not at the same time, you know? I love that Dustin got his get back on Andy and them with the snake, but like you just had to write Hellfire Lives in the locker and snitch on yourself like that? Just to go and get beat half to death at Eddie's grave site? Got your man's rolling in his grave watching you do that shit? Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. We got to do better. I did really like that moment with Mike and Eleven at the Squawk talking about life after Vecna, somewhere after Hawkins. Something about 3 waterfalls. For whatever reason, it made me think of Aaron and them when they went to the ocean in the last season of Attack on Titan. I know that's a wild parallel to make. I'm just saying it's that same kind of calm before the storm moment where we talk about what happens after victory before figuring out what victory even costs. That's where I'm... Okay. Obviously, I know Aaron knew what was going to happen, but the rest of them didn't, therefore my point stands. Alright, cool. Everything was going smooth at the crawl at first. They burned the gate, Hopper hopped in, they flipped, everything was cool. Until the Demogorgon showed up and crashed the whole convoy. And on top of that, Will's getting another Demogorgon's POV and he's headed straight for the Wheeler house?
What did he say?
So we got OG, Lone Survivor, and the Upside Down, and there's a Demogorgon in Holly's room. And that's the end of chapter 1. Now on to chapter 2. The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler. You know, knock him down, Nancy was on go, so when she heard the Demogorgon was on the way, she hopped in the whip. 11 got in there with her. Shouldn't have did that, but you know, emergency situations. The Wheelers went out like some champs though. We gotta give them their credit. Karen might have had the comeback performance of the season. Drunk off her ass, got enough brain cells functioning to even hide in the bathtub, let alone hold her breath for that damn long. Pops up, grabs a bottle, fights off the Demogorgon, and survive? Hey, listen, we gotta give Ted his credit too. He came in with a little 9 iron and put in some work. But then we ain't even talk about Ted for the rest of the season, so rest in peace, question mark? And then November 3rd, 1987, Holly Wheeler was captured by the Demogorgon and taken to the Upside Down. 3 days before Will's vanishing in 83. We should know by now, there's no such thing as deja vu in Stranger Things. Hopper ain't around to tell Elle not to go after Holly, so that's exactly what she does, like the soldier that she is. Had to know he was going to be pissed when he saw her, and best believe he was. I really enjoyed their back and forth throughout this whole Upside Down fiasco. I felt like they were so necessary to their characters and their relationship. Hopper acknowledges that his baby is the X factor in the fight against the big dog, but it's like he don't want to let her be the big dog unless Henry's around, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Not with 11, who been doing this shit since, like, come on now. She's not going for that. Not in 2025. You know, they're both some stubborn punk asses, but at the end of the day, they need each other. Hopper's just a dad who's lost a daughter before, and he's not trying to go through that again. We gotta give Eller credit too for giving him grace. And still letting him know, like, listen, you gotta let me be the X Factor. The time for pulling our punches is over. In the end, all they found was Holly's shoe at what I'm calling the Great Wall of Henry.
Oh my God! What is that?
Because I don't know what the hell else you want to call that thing. I mean, it reminds me of the wall from Game of Thrones, but I don't want to call it the wall. You know, it's all fleshy and ugh, like, nah, that's like a living thing. The Great Wall of Henry. Leave it to Rock and Robin to find the pieces of the puzzle. Will's connection to Vecna was never truly severed, and honestly, how could it be? Here come Robin coming up clutch with the receiver theory. Will's goosies are working in proximity to Vecna / the Demogorgon, and only get more severe the closer they get together. Of course, they run this theory by Joyce, but she's over here treating Will like Bubble Boy, so of course she's not going. And now Will's pissed off, because he feel like he's the only one who's not allowed to put in work. Boom, Robin swoop in with a flux capacitor crisis. It's a 2-man job. I need your help, Will. Oh, this is about rebellion. We're gonna retrace the Demogorgon steps wherever you was having visions at, and see what we can get from that antenna of yours. Like Will said, everything we do is super dangerous. And I'm so confused why the adults are the last people to, like, get that through their head. Come on, bro. Season 5. They trace his visions all the way back to Holly's school, where they realize that Will's not just seeing through the eyes of the Demogorgon or the eyes of Vecna's victim. He's seeing through the eyes of Vecna himself. And now we know Vecna's next target. Dipshit Derek Turnbow. I love Steve and Jonathan having their little Deadpool Wolverine argument in the car. And then here comes Dustin. Bloody-faced and all. Talking about he fell off his bike. Shut that shit up. As if Steve, of all people, wasn't gonna see right through that. I hated watching these two fight. Mike and Nancy hitting a hitman clothes swap to go and see their mom. I don't trust doctors who smoke either, Nancy. That's good shit. They went and saw Ma Dukes, figured out Mr. What's-Its-Name. Why would it be anybody else? Henry motherfucking Creel. Chapter 3, the Turnbow Trap. You got the Great Wall of Henry, you got commanding the Demogorgon, you're invading the minds of children. Like, he's clearly gathering power, but like, for what exactly? And why Holly? Why Derek? And why the hell is he not only giving Holly shelter, but making her favorite breakfast, blackberry pancakes, and giving her favorite artist's latest mixtape? Talking about, oh, it's just a hunch. A hunch? Why Holly get all this special treatment? Like, what? The way I just watched you do Will? Ain't no way. Speaking of Will, I really loved watching him stand up to Joyce. And it's not that she's wrong in her reasoning for holding Will back. It's just the fact that we are so far past that now. If anything, Will has been just as big as an X factor in this whole thing as Eleven has, if not more, being Vecna's first victim. He's the first child of the hive mind. And I need her to relax on Robin a little bit too. I get it, she's new to you, but she's not new to this. And unlike you, we actually came up with a decent plan that actually achieved something that we can use. So you can go be mad over there by yourself. I love how she took accountability though later on at the farm. She's still trying to make up for season 1. In the mind of a mother, that's so understandable. But the thing is, Will isn't even holding on to that his damn self. So it's like we gotta focus on the task at hand. And I really wish Jonathan was there at that moment for a whole Byers family intervention. Because what the hell is he thinking getting a ring for Nancy? Are you dead ass? Everything we were already dealing with on top of the fact that her parents just got torn up and her sister kidnapped? You cannot be serious right now. And Murray? At least Murray's consistent. Murray has been trying to get these two to get together since the day they met him. Okay, cool. You're the adult here. It's no way you're encouraging this right now in this circumstance. Couldn't hurt her mood. Yes, it could. Yes, the fuck it could, OG. Military pulled up on Hop and L with this little hedgehog thing? That is OP. Nerf that. But Hopper came clutch with the double grenade toss though. That might have been my favorite moment of the season, I ain't gonna lie. What the fuck? Watching Elle and Hopper work together is like magic. Especially during that Akers interrogation. Sullivan's right-hand man. That was crazy. The cinematography, sensational. Hopper in the physical, fucking with him. Elle in the mental, digging deep into his memories, trying to figure out what the hell they got behind this secret door in the base. But whatever was back there, homeboy really doesn't know. So we just gotta go and find out. The Turnbow trap was easily one of the most legendary sequences in this show. And it was only right that our boy Mike the Brave was the head of the operation. Crazy to think we went from whimsical adventures with our friends on bikes to invading foreign military bases to drugging and kidnapping an entire family to save them from a Demogorgon. Stranger Things. Again, the cinematography of it all, from Mike's proposal of the plan to Robin revealing her drug connect, Mike and Lewis going to convince Erica to fake makeup with Tina Turnbow in order to get in the house, all the way up to Erica having to inject Tina with the sleepy sleeps because she refused to eat her damn pie. And all that came before Hawkins' heroes went in and home aloned this entire family's house in order to pin down and put a tracker in the Demogorgon, and hopefully it'll lead him to Holly. Shout out Nancy for the innovation of putting the tracker in a shotgun shell and proving that it worked. Hey, genius. Shout out Dustin for cutting a hole in the top of Steve's Beamer in order for him to put the tracker Joe in the car. And the fact that they really sawed a fat ass hole in that people's floor and destroyed the wine cellar in the process. That whole thing just had me crying. So we split up into two teams. We got the Turbo Trappers and the Farm Nappers. Everybody got their roles. We got our taggers, Nancy and John. They're in charge of the tracker. Launcher, we got Lucas. Catchers, Mike. Trackers, Dustin and Steve. At the farm, we got Will, Robin, Joyce, and Erica watching over the Turnbows. Easily the most we've ever seen a Demogorgon suffer, and I loved it so much. Spike tripwire to the chest. 2 barbed wire shovel shots to the head. Shotgun blast to the back. Then you set him on fire. He got smacked a couple more times with that shovel before he finally hit that little portal and left. Then we got Steve, Dustin, Nancy, and Jonathan driving through people's backyards trying to track this signal, only for the Demogorgon to be headed straight for the farm. Holly was in Vecna crib playing Barbie Dreamhouse, touching stuff. Somebody knocked on the door and left her a map telling her to go through the forest that Henry specifically told her never to go through. And then you named the letter to Henry? Holly finally make it to these rocks, only to get chased down by this mysterious figure who we find out is our girl Max Mayfield, still alive and kicking. Now, last chapter of Volume 1. Chapter 4. Sorcerer. Our boy dipshit Derek wasn't going for none of the plots. Out there moving like prime Derek Henry.
Oh, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch.
But while he was bullshitting, here comes the Demogorgon. Then here go Joyce trying to get some get back for Bob and Will. 1v1 against the Demo? Whoa. You and Hopper with this self-sacrifice shit, man. Relax. And she's hitting the Demogorgon and Will's getting hurt? All right, now, this connection is getting a little too severe for me, because what is going on? She did drive the Demogorgon off, though, you know, after Steve hit him, but I still can't believe Steve drove him, Dustin, and them through that fucking hole. But they had no choice. They had to keep track of the signal. But damn, that makes L, Hopper, Steve, Dustin, Nancy, and Jonathan all flipped. And that's not including Max and Holly, who was already there to begin with. That's 8 total. Our boy Will taps in closer to the hive mind than he's ever been and sees a couple of kids in there, including Holly, all trapped in a trance with that little tube attached to their mouth, just like Will was. So even all that little hospitality he was giving to Holly, that shit was fake too. Vecna, you're a hoe. Through and through. Vecna's got 12 spires for 12 kids. He already has 3. What happens when we get to 12? Lord knows. Here go the military, being annoying again. Oh, let's round up all the kids in Hawkins and take them to the base. Steve and Dustin get to arguing again and run straight first into the wall of Henry. Holly tripping on Max because you're supposed to be in a coma. What are you doing here? Henry needs my help. And Max is like, I'm the one that needs your help. Henry is the one keeping us prisoner here. Sit down real quick. Let me break this down for you. Meanwhile, the gang needs a way to get any of the kids who've seen Mr. What's-It out that damn base before Vecna comes to get them. And we just so happen to have the one kid that the military didn't round up. Leave it to Joyce Byers to turn dipshit Derek Turnbow into delightful Derek. If only she would show that amount of love to her own son. The older one. Elle and Hopper trying to figure out a way to get into the base. I'm so mad that the Duffer Bros snuck in with the lightning, whatever. She did time that jump perfectly though. We finally get to see what Max was going through in this coma. Henry had her trapped in a loop of his memories, where we see young Joyce and Steve's dad. Mike and Will have a little heart to heart. Mike tells Will that he could be the magic we need with Elle flipped to the upside down. And here go Will, blushing and shit. Robin peeps. And now it finally clicks what Will was really asking her about at the hospital. In the upside down, Dustin just used his big brain math powers to determine that the Hawkins lab, where everything started, is probably the heart to the Great Wall of Henry. And that's probably where they should go instead of waiting for 11 and Hopper. Max eventually broke that loop of Henry's memories that she was locked in, only to get trapped in a loop of her own memories. And once she finally found the way out, finally heard Kate Bush again, finally felt Lucas's hand on hers, and she was so damn close. The song ends, bro. Ugh. It's 1987. You gotta press the button, rewind the whole tape, and wait for it to start again. She was right there, bro. She was right there. And then here come Vecna, bitch ass. Hi, Max. She runs to this cave, and all of a sudden he bitches up? What? What's up with this cave? What memories does this hold for him where he just looks scared for his life? Like, what happened to him in this cave? Max says she has a plan to get her and Holly out of there. Unfortunately, that plan involves Holly going back to Henry's house. But hey, it's time for Holly the Heroic to live up to her name. Robin's speech to Will. Absolute cinema. That was the love letter to Byers that y'all needed right there. Let that shit go. It's dead. I was looking for the answers in somebody else, but I had all the answers. I just had to stop being so goddamn scared. Scared of who I really was. Once I did that, I felt so free. Like I could fly. Like I could finally be rockin' Robin. Woo. Robin and Will easily got one of the best character dynamics in the show. Their characters' personalities just bounce off each other so easily. The sassiness, all of it, and the way they allow each other to just be the most authentic self. We got delightful Derek in the base doing a guided visualization with the kids, smacking them on the head when it's time for them to go back into the tunnels. Everything was going smooth until one of the pipes rotated and ended up, bursting. Dr. K doing all this yapping, but we're not going for that. You and your men are going to die. Trust and believe that. Hopper was dealing with Akers only to get tied up by some alien constrictor. Mike and Will struggling to plug the leak. And then here comes snitch-ass Ashley Klein. Dr. K got to yapping about how the constrictor works in hot versus cold weather. Hopper didn't care about none of that. He hit that switch and got up out of there. Pistol whipped the shit out of Dr. K for touching his child, and I love it. Now all that's left is a secret door. And here go Hopper with a goddamn bomb strapped to his chest. What are you doing?
Can't keep getting away with it!
On the right side up, we got Will, Mike, Joyce, and Derek all caught up by the military, dealing with Sullivan and them. Derek tells him your man can't protect shit, and one of them smacks Derek in the back of the head. Mike and Joyce turned up immediately, because what are you doing? Even Sullivan was like, Private, what are you doing putting your hands on this child? Like, yo. The whole time, Will's getting the goosies. He sees a horde of Demogorgon heading straight for them. Will and them got a whole set of kids themselves, including Derek. Lucas has a whole other set of kids in the tunnels. Robin's set of 3 kids was the only kids that made it to Murray's truck. Man, watching Mike and Lucas guide the babies through all this chaos, such a beautiful full circle moment. Because look at our boys, man, all grown up and locked in, following the great examples that they've been given. Demos are tearing the military the hell up. And of course they get to popping up everywhere the kids are. As soon as they got to burning them, they all dropped and got to flailing, including Will. Thankfully, Hopper didn't blow himself up. He comes and lets 11 in through the secret corridor, only to find out the military's been holding Sister this whole time? 8? When the hell did they get 8? And what the hell were they planning to do with her? But I mean, shit, at least she happy to see 11. We gonna get you out of there, Sister. Trust and believe. Then here come Vecna bitch ass Aura farming. I was glad to see Sullivan get his ass beat though. That's what I needed to see. And what does Vecna do after blowing shit up? Revives the Demogorgons, of course. Robin and Murray done flipped their truck. Lucas is down there in the tunnels in a 2v1. And Joyce was finally face to face with Vecna for a good 1.5 seconds. And he floats William right on over. Can you see them, William? Can you see the children? Do you know why? Why I picked them to reshape the world? Because they're weak. Weak in body, weak in mind, easily broken, easily reshaped, controlled, the perfect vessels. And you, William, you were the first. You were the one who showed me what was possible, what I could achieve. Some minds, it turns out, simply don't belong in this world. They belong in mine.
This is a sick Negro.
Listen, leave it to Vecna to give a speech. God damn. And then he just walk off. Sassy ass. Robin in the field with a flipped truck, cornered by a Demogorgon. Lucas with a wound in his stomach, cornered in the tunnels. Mike, not too far from Will, with a Demogorgon mid-air ready to slime him out just like they did his parents. Everybody seems to accept their fate until Will hits an anime flashback of him and Mike way back in the day as babies on the swings, hanging out for the first time in the basement. Like, whoa. Building his little fort thing with Jonathan. We cut back and all of a sudden the Demogorgons are stopped mid-air. Our boy Will, eyes wide as snow, got the Demogorgon held up mid-air right in front of Mike. He reaches his other hand out. That Demogorgon that was about to kill Lucas. Nope, none of that. Pause. He pop his head up like he needs some oxygen. The one trying to get Robin. Nope. And then he just lift him up and snap him like they did Chrissy. And we end volume 1 with Will, eyes rolling back to the front of his head, wiping his bloody nose. Woo! Season 5, volume 1 was absolute peak. It was so much action. It was really character driven too at the same time, and I really liked that. That damn trailer didn't help my anxiety or my fears at all, but damn it, that's not what it's for. Duffer Brothers done did it again, bro. Why the hell are Dustin and Steve in the trailer talking about if you die, I die? No! How about we don't die at all? I'm trying my best to mentally prepare for how bad they're about to fuck our holidays up. While we still have time to speculate and hold out hope, let's go through my death flags for Season 5, Volume 2. For reference, a yellow flag is like a neutral. We're not too worried about you dying. Orange is like, alright, no, we kind of worried. Red, GG's. So let's just start with the red flags. The list of red death flags in Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 2 reads as follows. Steve the Hair Harrington, Dustin Lil Hair Henderson, the Byer brothers, Will and Jonathan, are lovebirds, 11 and Mike. No, I'm not saying all of them are going to die. The story as it's been going and the things that have happened have made me very much worried for these people. It's like we don't want Steve to die so bad that we expect him to die. It didn't help that the Duffer Brothers went on Fallon and had Steve falling off the desk with the Funko Pops or whatever. What? I saw someone on TikTok say, if Steve dies, at least he got to live out his dream of having 6 kids.
Relax.
And Dustin, he gave me red flags as soon as I saw he had Eddie's rings on. You die, I die. Come on. The Byer boys, Will and Jonathan. Listen, Will's death flag been red since Vecna's first child of the hive mind and went and awakened his powers. First and foremost, the fact that he didn't awaken these powers until now makes me feel like whatever drawback there's going to be to his powers is going to be severe. And like I said, The Duffer Brothers with the Funko Pops is not helping at all because why are they all stacked together? 11, Sister, and Will. Vecna is not about to sit there and let y'all 3v1 this man. Alright? Will's the most inexperienced with his powers. If anybody's gonna go first, it's gonna be him out of them three. Vecna's not about to let Will getting powers just slide by. He's not. Jonathan, boy, you signed your death warrant as soon as you pulled out that ring.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
I'm telling y'all, I do this TV shit for real. I've been doing this TV shit for too long. Anybody who pulls out an item of sentimental value before the final battle, G fucking G's. Especially if it's supposed to be for somebody else. Boy. Psh. Then he goes stepping in front of Nancy in the trailer. Yeah, okay. Whatever it is y'all trying to give to Steve, double it and give it to Jonathan. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. 11 and Mike, like I told y'all, Attack on Titan at the ocean. Listen, you can't get to talking about victory before you even know what victory costs. I'm more so looking at 11 than Mike because, you know, everything started with 11. Vecna started with 11. So it only makes sense that it would end with her. You know, I'm only really looking at Mike just because it's a proximity thing. Hey, not to be messy or nothing, but like something happened to Mike. Who's going to tweak out worse? 11, Will, or Nancy?
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Our orange flag group. That list goes as follows. Rockin' Robin, Joyce and Hopper, Lucas and Max, as well as Nancy and Holly. Robin just be in the field. Same with Nancy. You know, those two, they just be in the field, you know? And the field's a scary place. Anything can happen. Shit, Robin damn near died, chapter 4. Nancy shooting out the roof and shit, like, you know, her flag was always gonna be orange. Joyce and Hopper, you know, them two gonna always do the self-sacrifice shit. They were gonna be in this category regardless. Lucas and Max, not that they really gave me any death flags, per se. It's just I don't want anything to happen to either one of them before they get to see each other again so badly that I'm worried that it will. And the only reason I'm even looking at Holly is because Vecna's petty as hell. Henry's petty as hell. He'd be like, wow, I sat up here and let you in my house, made you blackberry pancakes, you was playing Barbie Dreamhouse in my shit and all that. Granted, it was all fake, it was all an illusion. But feel me, Vecna is Vecna. He'd be like, damn, I treated you way better than I did any of these other kids. And this how you do me? Link it up with Max in that cave I will go to? Yeah, enjoy death. Like, that's the kind of, like, this is the kind of dude Vecna is. Like, he'll do some petty shit like that just because, you know? So that's the only reason I'm even looking at Holly at all. Yellow flags, neutral, you know? Not too really worried about these three people. Erica. Ooh, I'm gonna be so mad if anything happened to Erica, boy. And finally, we have Murray. Not really too worried about Murray. I could really see Murray sacrificing himself for one of the kids for sure. Especially Jonathan. Because they, you know, Stranger Things, easily one of the best shows of all time. One of the most impactful shows to my life. And I'm sad that it's ending. All good things must come to an end, and it's definitely time. I wish everybody the best in preparing themselves for how bad our holidays are about to get fucked up. But if you did stay throughout this whole video, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to me yap for this long. I hope that you were slightly entertained. At least make sure to hit any one of those YouTube buttons that feels right to you. And trust and believe we will be back to talk Volume 2. Straw Hat out.